Hey guys, welcome to the POS Podcast. Today with me, I have Tom coming back after one episode not being here. And Saber's back with us again. And we also have Matt here, who is in a disembodied voice right now, since I was kind of stretched for time, or strained for time. What was the word?
Don't know.
I
Um,
joined at the last moment, and you
yeah,
didn't have time to make me a special square.
yeah.
Zach?
So yeah, and Jim isn't here tonight because his the hard drive in his computer broke, so we had to send it in for repairs. So no Jim tonight, but the next one we'll have Jim and we'll talk about movies and stuff. Because there's some things I did see that I want to talk to him about. But today we're going to talk about some other stuff. But before we do that, if you want to ask us some questions, there are Twitter handles below. You can ask us some questions, and then we'll answer them at the Q&A section. So let's go on to the first topic here, and that is some big news about the death of somebody who was Mr. Iwata, who was the president of Nintendo, and it was very shocking to hear this because he was only 55 years old.
And
And
not to
it,
sound racist, but for Japanese, that's nothing.
yeah,
Like Japanese people live for a long time.
yeah, it was
And
because of bile duct cancer.
it sucks.
So, and it's very very unfortunate because this is a very strange time for Nintendo because they're sort of in this transitional period because they're starting to go in the mobile market, and they're doing stuff with the NX, and then suddenly their president dies, and things are going to be weird for the next couple of years. But Iwata himself was like a very accomplished person because he started out in the company as a programmer and worked his way up to CEO. And he was the first CEO that was not part of the Yamauchi family, which was the founding family of Nintendo. So that was like a big accomplishment for him. But he also did like some crazy programming things. Like he was able to fit. He was the reason that you could go back to Kanto in Pokemon Gold and Silver because he was able to compress the Johto region so they could put the Kanto region in there. Because the programmers working on the game said, "No, we can't do that," and he said, "No, I'll show you." So, and he did like debugs Super Smash Bros. Melee. He helped create Kirby with Sakurai. He did. I think his first game he programmed was Balloon Fight, and he's just done a ton of things in Nintendo before he became president. So he left like a big legacy behind, and it's interesting to see all these different companies on Twitter like leaving their condolences, like PlayStation and Xbox and Ubisoft, and like all the developers are like leaving their constellations.
I mean, yeah, they're competition, but you can still respect people who've made
Yeah.
huge contributions to their field.
Right.
So
A competitor in the market, but, companion in the art form,
there you go.
as it were.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he did a lot of work on Earthbound,
Yep.
so that was another
He
one.
coded pretty much the whole game, or
Yeah.
like recompiled it, because I guess the code was a mess for a while, but he was the one who kind of cleaned it up.
Yeah.
So,
He understood.
Did
the
a lot of
games.
shit. hmm
That's something that's kind of, I think, rare. Is you have CEOs who are just so business, and that's it. Like it's just about like making a profit, and that's it. And
Even by
but
crawling his way up, he didn't come from that background.
exactly,
Yeah.
he said himself he's a gamer, and I think that's super important, and that's what made Nintendo what it is, and hopefully whoever steps in for his spot will continue his legacy.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that Miyamoto should step up, but Miyamoto's like 62, and he's almost going to retire, like probably in a few years. Like that he said he might want to retire in a few years, so it might not be Miyamoto. It'll probably be somebody within the company.
This
Who will
isn't.
step
This
up.
shouldn't be like. I mean, yeah, it's sudden, but I mean, I'm sure they've already talked about what would happen if he does die. They probably have
Yeah.
some kind of contingency plan or some kind of lineup of people they'd be considering.
Maybe they were going to talk about it the day after he died, but then he died and they didn't get a chance to talk about it.
That's possible. It's possible
because it was very sudden. Nobody knew that it would be this fast. So.
Yeah,
it's pretty messed up.
Pretty shitty.
It's a good start for the podcast, Paleo, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Hey guys, the wine is gone.
Yeah.
And we're all gonna die someday too.
Wow. Okay. Thanks. It's getting nice and heavy. Podcast over, guys. We're all just gonna go cry.
I was talking to Gabe yesterday, and he was just telling me how unfathomably enormous the universe is, and I'm like,
yeah, of course he would talk about that.
Well, I mean, it was fascinating because his dad is
the universe,
pretty much. his dad is really great at explaining because there's a lot of the probability of life is astronomical. The chances of it happening are just insane. But beside the point, Gabe was talking about the size of the universe and how what they thought the size was is actually 1 billion times larger than what they thought. It's huge. There are more galaxies. No. What did he say? There are more galaxies in the universe than stars in our galaxy. I don't know. Something like that. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah.
All right. So, Iwata, rest in peace. And, yeah, thanks for giving us all these games to play. So,
hey,
I mean, he's the executive producer from almost every game from the 2000s and on.
If we all could be that lucky to leave something behind for people to enjoy and remember us by.
Yeah.
So, yeah, rest in peace.
All right. So next topic, let's talk about some Comic-Con stuff. And the first thing is the Batman v Superman trailer. Tom, have you seen this?
I have.
Yeah. What do you think? Because me and Saber watched it earlier.
I mean, I think the costumes I thought looked pretty good because this is the first really good glimpse at the Batman costume, and we didn't really see too much of the normal Batman costume, just the enhanced one he's going to use to take on Superman. And that whole kind of idea seems pulled out of the Dark Knight Returns because that whole suit looks really much like Frank Miller's design from that book. And in that book, the end, he fights Superman in a beefed up armored suit like that.
I just watched a little top 10 about that with Dark Knight Returns cartoon movie and how he's in that suit. Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. I mean, visually, I really like everything that they're doing. I think probably my biggest feeling comes from the fact that they're still using the continuity of Superman from Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Which I think that movie completely misunderstood the whole point of Superman as a character, and therefore I think might be kind of a weak point of this movie as well, because the point, I guess, of Superman, at least to me, from the comics I've read, from what I've understood of the character, and even how he affected me as a child, because I watch the Superman animated series all the time, is that he's the big Boy Scout, he's he's the embodiment of good. He's an icon of the best that humanity can be, which is the whole thing. He's not human, but he's kind of what we could be if we just
in this in Batman versus Superman, it makes him out to be he's kind of scary.
Yeah, they're
people are scared of him.
Yeah, and I understand that initial fear of something you don't understand because he's so powerful, but they're going so dark with everything because the Dark Knight trilogy did so well, and that seems to be what WB wants to do. And then even the fact that they have his mom kind of telling him you don't owe these people anything, you don't have to do anything like that. That's not how Clark was raised. The whole reason that he is such he's supposed to be a Kansas boy, and his parents were these they embodied the traditional kind of idealized American values where you do good to everybody and things like that. And that's where the whole thing is that Superman and you know, the character is an alien, but because he was raised by the Kents, he's the embodiment of everything that humanity has to offer is good. And the fact that they in Man of Steel and in this movie they have that influence, and by extension that character much more apathetic, I think it weakens him as a character, and by extension, it's going to weaken the contrast between him and Batman, because he's like pissed that like his dad was killed and blah blah blah, you know. But also Superman is pissed that his family's dead too, because his dad died in Man of Steel, and that's kind of made him so apathetic and go off on that whole like, I'm just gonna go work on oil rigs and pretend I don't actually have anything to do with anything, you know. So like the reason like the conflict works so well in Dark Knight Returns, because Batman had one motivation and one characterization, and Superman was the opposite. He was the Boy Scout that everybody loved, and it was these two kind of ideals clashing. And because we've made Superman so dark, it's just two dudes punching each other now, or at least it's kind of the vibe I got from the movie. So I think it'll like be a fun ride, and I think like, you know, the fact they have Wonder Woman in there is gonna be good too. We'll see if they that.
They only showed a glimpse of her, but
right.
That's
I mean, they're
not
just
really
putting
saying.
it in there.
Yeah, that's not really saying much so far, because we don't know what kind of dialogue she's going to have.
Right. I mean, her characterization is going to be super like, people are going to have problems with it no matter how good or bad it's done, just because like it's been so long and people wanted that character on screen for so long, and like, you know, DC's been like, we don't fucking know how to do it. I mean, how do you put a woman in a movie? Fucking
breast.
You know? Yeah, I guess that's the whole thing.
Make them
like,
look at the breast.
People are already upset that like her costume has heels, which I think is a little ridiculous. You know?
I felt the same way about StarCraft, where Kerrigan has heels, and it's like, what? She's been like a mutated human Zerg creature, and yet she hatches out with biological heels. Like, I don't know. That bothers me. It's like,
maybe she likes the height that they give her.
Oh, evolutionarily speaking, yes, it's a huge advantage. It's poison darts in them.
No, but the thing that probably bothered me the most about the trailer, and I don't really care about like Superman that much, is friggin' Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. I mean, it's different, but still, I'm only going to see Jesse Eisenberg. I'm not going to see Lex Luthor.
I don't even think I put it together. That was Lex Luthor.
Me neither.
It is him.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Because that's who's going to be Lex Luthor, is Jesse Eisenberg.
Speaking of that, though, also like Ben Affleck is as Bruce Wayne. Like, I just see Ben Affleck. I don't see Bruce Wayne.
It's
which, I mean,
strange.
If he does a solid performance, fine. But like the whole time, I was just like, that's not Bruce Wayne. That's Ben Affleck. You know, and I mean that's a dumb thing to really say, but I couldn't help think like, he's gonna have to have a solid performance to like sell me on this, because just from like looking at him, like,
I like his Batman voice better than Christian Bale, though.
Well, I mean, I could do a better Batman voice at this point.
So. I think the problem is that like for Ben Affleck, he's a huge actor, so everybody's going to see him as Ben Affleck.
Right.
But didn't people say
when Michael Keaton was what?
Well, when Heath Ledger got the role for the Joker, I mean, he was in things like Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah, but he wasn't that big of a star.
All right, fair enough. That's true.
Like Ben Affleck's a huge star.
Yeah, and you know Chris Pratt's kind of getting on that level too.
Yeah, he's starting to get on that level.
It's like oh, it's Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
I had a dream that I met Chris Pratt last night. I was at this like movie theater and near the ticket booth, and Chris Pratt was there with Chris Hemsworth, and they both were costume. Chris Pratt was wearing his Jurassic World outfit, and Chris Hemsworth was wearing his Thor outfit. And I walked up saying, I'm here, and Chris Hemsworth takes his hammer, and he's like, let me sign this for you. And Chris Pratt's like, no, I got this one. He takes a brick, and he signs a brick with my name on it and gives it to me, and we take a picture together. I remember saying something like, this means a lot to me, thank you. And he's like, I don't care. And then I woke
up. Well.
But okay.
Chris Pratt doesn't care.
You wouldn't say that, though. That's the thing.
Yeah. But yeah, what I was going to say about Batman is that when Michael Keaton became Batman, he wasn't as big of a star as, like, Ben Affleck is now. Michael Keaton's a big star now. But at the time, he wasn't that big of a star. At least I don't think so. Was he?
Yeah, even Christian Bale wasn't as well known. Like,
Yeah,
it's like
I mean, he was in
that
like stuff
made
like
his-
American Psycho and other
right,
things.
but like he's well known now because of Batman. You know,
Yeah.
he didn't go into the role with that. So we'll see, I guess. I mean, again, Heath Ledger, I mean, is a good example of just like you can have like some sort of like characterization, like in terms of like what people expect from you as an actor, and then totally subvert it. And he's like, a lot of people have been saying that, like, yeah, he's like really serious about this role, you know. And I mean, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm just saying, right now, I'm like, I see him on screen, and I see Ben Affleck, and I expect him to like sit down with Jay and Silent Bob and explain to them what the internet is, you know, or something like that. Like, so I don't know. Like, we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Next thing, also DC related, is the Suicide Squad trailer.
Yeah, it came out
Which-
today, I think.
Yeah.
I have not seen this yet. I looked for it a couple days ago, but I think it hadn't been
Yeah.
released
It
to the
just
public yet.
showed. It was just uploaded not too long ago today, and because before somebody had a cam footage of it from Comic-Con, but now it was officially uploaded, and it looks interesting. Like we see a bit of Harley Quinn, we see a bit of Deadshot.
See a lot of her.
Yeah, we do. She's like in this cage that's not attached to anything, and she kind of like just hanging from it. And it sort of like explains the story of what the Suicide Squad is, and like that they're villains like on like for hire, not for hire, but like to go on suicide missions and whatnot.
Well, they said like if they mess up, we'll throw them under the bus. Like that, it's a win-win for us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're
don't they
villains.
just like they basically recruit like villains who are like imprisoned or like on death row or something, and just like you're gonna be dead anyways, so we'll do our dirty work and like you get your freedom or whatever if you survive, but if not, fucking you're dead. Who cares?
Yeah.
Something to that effect. I've seen it. I saw the Suicide Squad animated movie, or one of them,
Oh.
or one of the Batman movies had the Suicide Squad in it, so I kind of know a little bit about it, which is kind of cool. It was a
Yeah.
decent movie.
We did see
But,
a glimpse of the Joker at the end, by Jared Leto, and
Yeah.
he still looks weird, but he sounds good. He sounds like he's trying to do sort of a
Heath Ledger.
He's kind of a, I would say an in between Heath Ledger and the Mark Hamill Joker.
No, I guess. Yeah, I can see that.
Something in between that. So I think he might sound good, but still he looks so weird. Like with all the tattoos
Yeah.
and stuff and the
I
silk
don't
All of
teeth.
the
like the
characters.
Teeth are weird.
All the characters in that movie look really stylized, and I'm not sure if
Yeah.
I'm digging the style they went with, but I haven't seen the trailer yet, so it could change our mind.
So hopefully Will Smith will get his career back on track with Deadshot.
His son's not in the film. That's a good start.
Yeah.
I think Will Smith put a little bit too much faith in his son with that last movie, and he's just
Yeah.
like, "I'm not doing that again."
Independence
mean-
Day 2
Oh yeah, well yeah, that's going to be a thing.
with no Will Smith.
Yeah. Jeff Goldblum though.
I would love to see Jeff Goldblum in a film, like in any film. I don't care what it is.
Yeah. Instead of seeing him in those freaking apartments.com commercials all the time.
I'd love to see him play Superman.
Nicolas Cage was supposed to be Superman back in the day. Never
Yeah.
happened.
Yep,
That would have been so weird.
I couldn't see that at all.
I can't
At all.
see that at all. You know, it's funny. Do you remember that movie Nicolas Cage was in? It was called Knowing.
Yes. No.
No. Oh,
The one where he like gets that like weird piece of paper from a time capsule that a child buries in the ground, and apparently this child, all that this kid did was like write down numbers on this piece of paper, and when his daughter like digs up the capsule, he winds up like just decoding it, and he winds up finding out that each date, like each number on the
Oh,
paper,
yeah.
was representative of like every major disaster that's happened in the past. But then it stops at like the date that he's on, and there's still numbers that go ahead, and he's just like, wait a minute, I can tell when future disasters are gonna happen. So he the numbers the numbers are the time, longitude, latitude, and the date of when the disaster is gonna happen. And for some reason I just thought of the movie yesterday, and I was like, I'm gonna watch that part where that plane crashes. And when it's funny because the plane just kind of crashes out of nowhere, and there's this guy on fire just running out of the wreckage, and all Nicolas Cage does is go, "Hey, hey!" while he's on fire, just running faster. He's like, "Hey!" I was like, him as Superman would be funny because the building would be on fire, and he'd be like, "The building's on fire."
So you're saying is Nicolas Cage be the guy playing Captain Obvious in all those hotel commercials?
Yeah. All right. So Suicide Squad trailer. Yeah, watch it if you haven't, and see what you think. Next thing.
Kryptonite.
Next thing is something pretty big from Comic-Con, and that was the Star Wars reel that they showed of like sort of behind the scenes stuff. And it looks really, really interesting, and it looks like the movie is going to turn out to be really good.
Yes.
From what I've seen, because they're using all these practical effects, and things look like they should be Star Wars, and not CGI everything.
This is the Star Wars trilogy we've always wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm super excited. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be amazing. I mean, I know everybody was on Cloud 9 when the old trilogy came out in 2000, and it's good to be cautious. We don't want that to happen again, but I feel like we have good reason to be excited this time around because, I mean, it just looks so great, and J.J. Abrams has a good track record. I mean, look what he did with Star Trek. Now he's at Star Wars. That's a better movie to be for his style, in my opinion. So I'm excited.
I'm trying to think of what to say about it, because like I like seeing like behind the scenes of like stuff like this, and just all the sets that they're building. Like, you know, they didn't need to do that, but they did it.
Well, it gives the actors something to act against and interact with, and I mean, just seeing Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, and
Harrison Ford didn't say anything to the camera.
Of course he didn't. But Carrie and Mark look great. I think they look fantastic. And then you've got things like, I mean, I told you this, Daniel Craig called up just to be a stormtrooper in the movie, and JJ's like, yeah, that's fine. So, I mean, people are excited about this. This is Star Wars is, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'd say it's arguably the most iconic thing in movie culture ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least here in the West.
This is true.
Definitely. Yeah, and oh yes, we saw Simon Pegg in that reel too.
He's the ultimate nerd. He's the ultimate nerd.
I don't know. I'm excited to see that film. I think it's going to be really good. I mean, Star Wars, I mean, who doesn't like Star Wars? It's not like the biggest thing ever for me, but I mean, everyone grew up watching Star Wars and being obsessed at some point.
Yeah.
So to see it actually continue, like, it's become such a joke now, you know? Like, the franchise in general, because they've done nothing good with it since the original trilogy outside of, like, some good games here and there.
And some animated series.
Yeah, but I mean, nothing huge. And, like, to actually have something that with, like, this much promise and seem to be done right, you know, it's like at least, like, they're learning from the mistakes of the previous trilogy and being like, we can't do that again. Like, you know.
Ooh.
Well, like, a green screen doesn't count as a set.
I promise this is actually on topic, but, like, did any of you eat 3D Doritos back in the day?
Well, like, you know, I hate them. I don't like 3D Doritos.
Fucking.
I don't like them either.
You don't like them?
Yeah!
So none of yous back in the 90s bought 3D Doritos when they had the Star Wars pogs in them. Wow.
No, I did buy them, but I didn't like them.
God, you're all the worst 90s kids.
The problem was I didn't get to eat any of that shit because my mom was all on her organic shit, so I didn't even get to have like good cereal or anything.
Yeah. Your mom also thinks that the Wi-Fi gives cancer, so
I know.
Not surprised.
No. She actually forgot to turn the Wi-Fi off last night, and surprisingly, she doesn't have cancer anymore. So I was impressed.
What if she actually got cancer and she's like,
I mean,
your mom getting cancer is not funny.
Just by coincidence.
Huge.
Now that Now that I've said that, she's going to have a tumor like tomorrow. So like, well, I don't even know. It's all my fault.
Tommy, come closer. Why?
Bye.
Fine.
Just squeezes the tumor and pus goes all over your face. This is from the Wi-Fi!
That's just gross.
Okay. Anything to say about Star Wars other than it looks really cool?
These stormtroopers look really cool.
Yeah, they do.
I'm excited to see the Empire actually fight and look like they know what they're doing. And yeah, I'm just pumped. I'm excited. What else can you say? Are any of you guys going to be dressing up for that time when it does release?
No, I'm not
I
a
am.
nerd.
Angle the camera towards your couch.
What?
Angle your camera towards your couch. Look at all that nerd stuff, you piece of crap.
Yeah.
that a Pikachu?
Filth.
No, you should look over here where I have like all my games and stuff.
Disgusting.
Very terrible.
Life of a video game hermit crab.
Okay. Next thing. Ashe versus the Evil Dead, or versus Evil Dead, is a series based on the Evil Dead trilogy coming out this Halloween, and it has Bruce Campbell in it, who's the main character.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. I feel like they could butcher it really bad.
They could, but I think the fact that they have Bruce Campbell in it, like, it gives me faith in that.
I want to have faith because he's in it too, but like at the same time, it's like he ultimately doesn't dictate what the writers put in it. It's like you can have Bruce Campbell in it, but you can also have like horrible pop culture references in it too, and it'll be terrible. Like I hope it's good.
I mean the trailer looked interesting. I did. There wasn't any like pop culture references in that. It was just like some pretty funny dialogue that they were showing.
Right, and it does. I mean, it just looks like a modern day Evil Dead, like really.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering how that'll play out in a way, because like the reason why I liked Evil Dead was because of the charm it had.
Yeah.
From the time it was created, because they got really creative with like a lot of the different effects that they put in there, and a lot of the humor in there. At least in my opinion, was kind of ahead of its time. I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was really, that's why I like the movie, like the trilogy so much, is because it was just so out there and so wacky. So to see another addition to that is going to be interesting, especially with all the modern production that they're going to put in it. It's not going to have that same charm, but I'm wondering if they're going to be able to still give it that feel without it being like a modern movie,
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I didn't see the Evil Dead remake thing that they had, but that was like more of a horror movie than a horror comedy.
Saw that either.
Which I think the original Evil Dead, the first one, is more of a horror movie than it is a horror comedy. There's some things that are kind of horror comedy elements, but it's mostly just like a low budget horror. And then the other two are definitely horror comedies. So
I've never seen any of those movies, so
you should.
You've never seen that?
Yeah.
Really?
never seen it.
Wow, that
Yeah.
seems like. I think that's a series you'd like, only because it is kind of just nonsense in a way.
Yeah, it's very silly. But yeah, I watched the trilogy like a couple of years ago, and I really liked it. So hopefully this will be good too. So next up, there was a trailer for the regular show movie that's on TV. So it's not going to be theatrical; it's going to be a TV movie. Which is the first time they've done a thing like that in a very long time for Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
And it looks interesting. I mean, it's going to be like any other regular show episode where they just have something that crazy goes on. It looks like they have sort of alternate dimension selves come to them, and yeah, it's really strange. But
it's like alternate dimension, time travel, sci-fi kind of trope sort of things going on.
Right up their alley.
And then Neptune's crown gets stolen, and they have to go find it.
yeah.
Exactly. So it looks pretty cool. I mean, I've always liked a regular show, so
Yeah. Yeah, that
Opportunity
one.
missed to not call it regular movie. It's
Yeah,
a regular show
You're
movie,
right.
so epic fail on that.
yeah. Still, I like the logo they gave for the movie on the regular show.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that. That's funny you should bring that up.
But
It's kind of, it's like a great show, regular movie, regular show movie.
if they make it anything like the one episode they had recently with the I forgot what the name of the episode was, but with the duck and the geese. Where
Oh
it
yeah,
just-
the
it
Gurren
just-
Lagann one.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like the Gurren Lagann like friggin' Evangelion friggin'. It was just like it was a parody of like mecha anime.
Yeah. Fucking great.
If they make it anything like that, but with like 80s sci-fi movies, then it'll be great. So, yeah. Next, well, before I go on next, I'm surprised they didn't show anything about the Adventure Time movie. Though I guess it's kind of too early for that because that's supposed to come out in 2017. So they'll probably show something for that next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and here's something that's supposed to come out next year, but they didn't show a lot of. It's the Warcraft Skies of Azeroth thing, and it was sort of an interactive trailer that they put out. It was kind of leaked actually, and it's on YouTube, and it's just riding on a griffin going across Stormwind, and Saber can say stuff about this because I don't know much about Warcraft.
I mean, it looked cool, and then the city was accurate because I mean, there are flying mountains in the game, and I've flown over Stormwind before, and I'm like, oh, it looks pretty cool how accurate it is to the map that is Stormwind, but it looks just a lot better and more alive, and just
A lot more detailed.
yeah, like the city's moving and it's it looks really good. I mean, I want to see more like teasers and trailers because right now this movie's has been rumored since 2004 or 5. It's been
Yeah.
a long time. I mean, that's the amount of time we've been able to send a satellite to Pluto.
So you're saying that that satellite that was being sent to Pluto was actually making this movie?
Yes, the script's
Yes.
on there, and we're like, God, why do we do that?
It's just like, oh, wait a minute, fuck, we put a camera in this. Let's take a picture of Pluto.
That's Warcraft movie.
Here's your stupid picture of Pluto. By the
They're
way,
actually just gathering resources for the StarCraft movie.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, but they actually have like having writers from the game work on this movie, and Blizzard is doing the animation themselves, I think. So it's very interesting because Blizzard has always done like really good cinematics for their games. So the fact that they're doing a movie is really interesting. But we'll just have to wait and see. I would guess that an actual trailer is going to come out sometime in the holiday season because that's when a lot of the trailers for the next year come out. So
Yeah.
hopefully we'll see more then. And the next thing is there's some images of the filming on location for Ghostbusters, and it looks interesting. It's an all-female cast, and it has Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig. Kristen Wiig I actually like a lot. And I recently saw one of Melissa McCarthy's movies, Spy, which I went to go see with my mom on her birthday, and it was a fun movie. It was funny. I don't think it was a 98% like Rotten Tomatoes says, but still a pretty good movie. And the two others, let me see what their names are because I completely forgot. But as far as there being a new Ghostbusters is kind of weird to me, just because I don't, especially since Sam Ramis isn't alive anymore. So wait, did I say that? Oh, Harold Ramis, not Sam Ramis. I was putting together Sam Raimi and Harold Ramis.
Samus Aran.
Yeah, Kristen Wiig, Kate McKinnon, and who else? Leslie Jones. That's who. And apparently Chris Hemsworth is in this too.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So we just see images of them filming. We don't really know much about it yet, but it's going to come out next year. And I enjoyed the Ghostbuster movies, so
I think it's awesome that they have an all female cast.
yeah.
I mean, I know that it's going to be good regardless of genders, but I mean, genders do play a role.
Who's writing it, or who's directing it? Oh, Paul Feig. Huh. Oh yeah, and he also directed like Spy and the Heat and those other comedy movies. So he's a good comedy director. So that's something. Next thing, if there's any other Comic-Con stuff to talk about that I didn't know about, is there anything?
I'm trying to think. I can't think of anything really.
Yeah.
They didn't show a trailer for Deadpool this year, did they?
Did they? I know I
don't
saw some
think so.
images, but I didn't see like.
There was a
There
panel.
was one, and there's some leaked footage apparently somewhere in it.
Oh, so they haven't
Is there?
officially put it online yet.
Correct.
Okay.
Alright. Because I know they had a panel, but I hadn't seen any trailer for. Because a couple days ago I was looking through Comic-Con stuff, like when they were like as it was happening, like nothing was online. I can't even watch it, so I kind of just forgot to keep checking back. But I'm really excited for the Deadpool movie because I love Deadpool as a character, and the fact that it's going to be a rated R movie, I think, is really interesting. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's like,
It's rated R?
Yes,
yeah,
they are.
there's
Really?
yeah, and like the costume that they have for it looks amazing.
Oh,
So-
man. Excited. Rated R. That's fantastic.
Yeah, like I don't know how they're able to get that to be a thing, but like yeah, they're like yeah, we're doing a Deadpool movie. It's gonna be rated R. There's gonna be tons of fourth wall breaking and like violence and profanity and just like everything the character's known for. So that's one I'm really looking forward to, and I'm ready to see another trailer for it or something.
Yeah.
Because it looks cool, and
I like Deadpool. Really interesting.
I don't think there's anything else.
Yeah, not that I'm super aware of. Like,
I know that what is it? It's rumored that there are some X-Men that were seen in the trailer. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. It should be. I'm excited to see it.
There was supposed to be like an X-Men Apocalypse trailer, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know anything else. Ferg mentioned the Iron Giant Signature Edition got announced by Brad Bird, which is the first time Iron Giant is actually on Blu-ray. It didn't have one before.
Speaking of Iron Giant, aren't they supposed to be planning a re-release in the theater?
Yes.
A
They are.
re-release?
Yes.
Yeah, they're re-releasing that in the theaters soon.
they are.
Cool. I gotta go see it then.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see again. I mean, I saw that as like a little kid.
Yeah.
Didn't really
I didn't see
appreciate
it in theaters. I only saw it. I saw it like one morning on HBO, and I was like, wow, cool.
I saw it in theaters too when it first came back out then. I really liked it when it came out. It's kind of funny though, because like when I read the article about that being re-released, they were all like, yeah, when it released back then in the box offices, it didn't do too good. And I was like, oh, really? But
Yeah, it
I
didn't.
think,
It bombed.
yeah, I think with how good, like how much really positive reception it has now with the coming days, I think they're re-releasing it for that reason. It's just like, oh, let's give it the appreciation it really deserves.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
It's like if Disney can re-release movies in theaters, then we can too.
it would really suck.
Pretty much.
Though Disney's remaking all their old movies now in live action.
Yeah.
Sick of animating
Milking their
shit.
franchises for all they're worth.
Alright.
Disney's just doing anything they can to just not make 2D films anymore. It's like, we'll animate in 3D, we'll shoot it live action, but we're not drawing shit. Fuck you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was also the John C. Reilly confirmed Wreck-It Ralph 2 that he signed on for it, and like Sarah Silverman and I forgot who else like talked about the fact that they definitely want the second movie to happen, and apparently it's supposed to happen, but there hasn't been anything like officially like happen with the movie yet. Like until they start voice acting, I'm not going to like think there's anything coming out yet.
Right. Yeah. There's officially interest, but nothing
Yeah.
more than that.
I don't get
We'll
what
see.
you can do for a second Wreck-It Ralph.
They got a lot of
Yeah.
possibilities.
There are some other things that they can do. There was some story ideas about him like meeting another Wreck-It Ralph from the same machine, or the same arcade cabinet, but a different arcade cabinet, the same game. And one about him entering a Smash Brothers like game. And just some other things, but I'm sure they'll think of something.
It's Pixar. Pixar doesn't fuck up.
It's not Pixar.
Oh
That's-
no.
Yeah, I'm stupid.
no,
Disney
no,
animation.
it's Disney Animation. They fucked up sometimes.
They do fuck up sometimes, but they do have bolts, and I do like that movie.
I think
Yeah.
they get better.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to Q&A, I guess.
Yeah. Let's
So,
do.
if you want to ask some questions, ask us on Twitter. Oh, let me put Matt's thing on here too.
Do it.
Matt, what's your thing?
My Twitter?
Yeah.
My Twitter should be at Cookie Soup Music.
All right. All right. So if you want to ask us some questions, go on Twitter and ask us a question, and I'll look on my phone so I don't have to not look at the chat. So let's see. First thing here. Cannot retrieve data. What?
Alec yelling at us because of our silly stream. We missed the new Gravity Falls, which was amazing, apparently.
Yeah, so I've heard. Yeah, I haven't seen the
Yeah.
new Steven Universe either.
New Steven Universe was good. I have not seen Gravity Falls because I was here, and also I don't have Disney XD anyways, so I can't watch it. But my sister just linked me to a 720p upload.
Already,
I
nice.
check that out
Yeah,
after.
should watch
show.
that after.
But Joe Phoenix asked what we thought
Oh,
about
Cookie
both
Coop.
those.
Whoops. I put Cookie Coop instead of Cookie Soup.
Cookie Coop? I
Wow,
might rename myself to Cookie Coop.
Cookie
Let's
Coop.
go.
He's
Let's
gonna-
all head down to the Cookie Coop, where we can all have
That's a
cookies.
great name for a store.
Cookie Coop.
For a cookie store. Cookie Coop.
Cookie Coop.
Cookie
Welcome
Soup
to the
is
Cookie
sensitive.
Coop, where we all have cookie soup.
And then you take a cookie poop.
God. And we're done.
And end scene.
No questions about Steven Universe or Gravity Falls. We haven't seen them yet. Or I haven't seen either yet.
The Steven Universe episode was very good. I will say that because I did watch it. It was excellent. I'm excited for a week of more Steven Universe goodness.
Oh, here's something. Marcel Toing asks, is there ever a mockbuster that you guys saw? Example, Video Briquendo, best known for Ratatouille. Basically anything that's sort of a ripoff of a other movie. And I've watched a few. Like, I know Saber and I have watched a few. Like, we've watched Kiara the Brave.
Oh yeah, that was awful.
They're awful movies. And there was also one I watched with, I think it was Matt and Hero. We watched Ribbit, which is sort of a
Yeah.
ripoff of Rio.
I was gonna say, yeah, that was really fucking awful.
That was really bad.
Yeah. I think the worst one that I've watched with you guys is when we watched Atlantic Rim, and I literally
Oh,
fell
yeah.
asleep.
You watched Atlantic Rim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm surprised.
I didn't finish. I fell asleep. It was so boring. I just
Yeah,
fell
it's
asleep
very
in my
boring.
chair during the live stream, just gone.
I think
So
the best reaction we ever got out of you, Tom, was that time we watched Food Fight.
Yep.
That was
Yeah.
the funniest thing I'd ever seen.
I lost my mind watching you.
Speaking of food fight,
oh no.
there's a movie coming out next year starring Seth Rogen called Sausage Party, and it's very similar to Food Fight.
Why would you do this to me, world?
It doesn't look very good.
Oh really?
Re- it's-
Okay.
Tell me more.
Seth Rogen as a sausage.
Seth Rogen was probably high when he signed his contract. He's like, "Hey, I want Taco Bell right now. How much you paying me? I'll do it."
He's just like, I want Taco Bell right now. Sign me up. Like he just.
That's a good Seth Rogen expression. Or impression.
Expression, yes,
Expression.
it is. Both.
I just walk up and like, this is my Seth Rogen expression. I make a face. The only role I really remember Seth Rogen in right now was his role as one of the characters in the 40-year-old version.
Wait. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right.
I haven't thought about that movie in a long ass time.
I was thinking about it the other day, and I was thinking about like how much Tumblr probably hates.
Tumblr.
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 Tumblr probably hates that movie. Just like, oh my god.
That would be a movie that if it came out now, Tumblr would be all over it, like in a bad way. I feel.
Aren't already.
We just aren't talking to the right people. Or maybe we are talking to the right people.
I am not ugly as fuck. Look, doesn't matter if you're ugly as fuck or if you're ugly as shit. Like.
Okay, here's a question from JJ Maximum Prince. What would you guys do if you had the chance to attend San Diego Comic-Con?
Not go to the con and just explore San Diego.
I think it'd be cool to at least go to the con once just to see all the people and the culture there.
I mean, I've been to San Diego a bunch, so I already kind of know what it looks like.
I don't know if I would go to San Diego Comic-Con. It's just so
crowded,
big and crowded. Like, I mean, they like the entire like surrounding area around Comic-Con is blocked off for it, and there's like a bunch of people outside running a separate convention from Comic-Con.
The thing is, like, if you went
shit.
If you went to San Diego Comic-Con to see San Diego, you wouldn't be able to because of the traffic.
Right.
The traffic during Comic-Con is terrible. I've been through it.
And like all the cool things we just talked about, almost all of them were in Hall H. And to get into Hall H, you have to wait 10 hours in line, like overnight, just to get into Hall H to see whatever event you want. It's just like, why would I wait 10 hours when it's going to be leaked online in 2 days? Like,
yeah,
it just seems like a waste of time. Like, I went to New York Comic-Con, which isn't nearly as big. Even that was like really densely packed with people and a lot of shit going on.
Is it San Diego's fault? Maybe they need to change venue to something bigger?
It's just like the industry's gotten so like saturated. Like, I mean, Comic-Con, obviously it started out as like a comic convention for nerds, but now nerd culture is mainstream. So it's like this huge epicenter for like all the biggest like things in entertainment all crammed into one weekend in one location. Like, where are you going to get something big enough to accommodate that comfortably? You know, it's like the biggest like Hollywood properties are all converging on this one building. And it's just like, I don't know. I mean, maybe they should expand. Again, I've never been there. I just know that it's fucking like oppressively crowded, and that's just not my scene.
It's even crowded around the city. That's the thing.
Yeah. So it's like, where would you go? It's like, we're gonna have it in Alaska, like a big giant field or some shit. I don't know.
Like there's been like talks about moving it to different cities like Anaheim or Los Angeles, but they actually did an expansion. Let's see. Or something. I don't know. I just know that it's a huge convention, and let's see, the last attendance was over 130,000 people. So that's gigantic.
Yeah, just, I mean, all the things I'd really want to do at Comic-Con, I would be able to do. You know, like, yeah, I could go like to the vendor hall or whatever, and like go like check out like stuff to buy, but I can do that anywhere. You know, I just go online.
Yeah.
So it's like the really interesting things, like attending those panels and all that shit, I really wouldn't have the patience to do. So I don't know if I would go. I've never really been like, I really wish I could go to San Diego Comic-Con. Just the nature of it being so large. But that's just me.
Here's a question from Digital Arrow. What animated film do you want Brad Bird to direct? Example, Steven Universe film. I don't know, because he's already directed like a bunch of different animated movies. Directed Iron Giant, The Incredibles, Ratatouille, and he's directed some live-action films recently with Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol, and Tomorrowland, which wasn't that great. Which that was pretty much his first official dud as a director. His other movies have been like positive, but as far as like what kind of movie I'd like to see him direct, what kind of animated movie I'd like to see him direct, I don't know. I'd like to see him do another Pixar film, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like too well versed in like what his specific style is that makes it a Brad Bird movie, so I don't know. I mean, he's doing Incredibles too, right? Is that something that's been on the table for a little while?
Think?
Of some sort. I guess that, just because I know he did it well the first time around, that's like one of my favorite Pixar movies, and I think that's a universe ripe for expansion. You know, it's one of the things where like, oh yeah, like you could easily do a sequel of that, you know, just because like comic book culture is just ripe with all these like assholes and things, and that'd be a great like thing to like parody them with, you know. So something like that, I guess.
You guys got some questions?
It's been a slow night for questions on my
Yeah,
end.
people aren't asking anything.
They're all busy decompressing after Gravity Falls. Nobody's here, they're all watching.
Nothing really on my end.
There's something interesting. Megajet said in the chat. It says, "Why do I feel like he should do a I guess Transformers reboot movie?" As far as like an animated movie, that might be interesting.
Maybe. Speaking of Transformers, I don't know if this was announced at Comic-Con or just recently, but did you see that Platinum Games is doing a Transformers game? It's like all cell shaded. It's all cell shaded. It's all the G1 style, and like
Wow,
looks fucking awesome.
that sounds
It's
really
like
cool.
over the top Bayonetta style action with Transformers, like Optimus Prime beating the fucking shit out of everything. You're just like,
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
so I'm down for that.
Saber, you get anything?
Not really. I'm looking.
And yeah, Jim couldn't make it, unfortunately. He was the life of the party.
Jim's too busy watching Gravity Falls.
Instead you get me, the faceless man.
I don't have much of anything. I hate to say this, but for some reason I'm really tired. It just hit me all of a sudden. I'm like, ugh, I'm tired. But no, I mean, I don't really have that many other things on my end as far as Twitter questions go. So, I mean, I guess.
Do you have any movie questions or anything like that?
Yeah, or questions about things from Comic-Con or whatever.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I've never gone to a Comic-Con or anything. I really don't want to. From what I hear, everybody says like, yeah, there's all the people that go, and then there's all the people that don't go because they don't want to be around all of the people that do go. So it's like, I guess I'm one of those people because I definitely don't want to be in a really, really crowded open space full of like people wearing like sweaty cosplays and, you know.
You're going to BroNYCon, by the way. I want you to remind you of this.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, on a size magnitude as far as like in comparison, BroNYcon's nowhere.
BroNYcon's a lot more open because it's a giant convention center with not as many attendees.
Fair enough.
And it's also in Baltimore, so.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm pretty excited for that though.
I'm pretty sure I'm excited for it too. I'm pretty sure the attendance was affected after the Baltimore riots because I remember that hotel was full before the riots happened, and I was like, there's no more rooms. And then like after the riot, we called up the hotel, and they're just like, yeah, we got a bunch of canceled reservations, so yeah, we have rooms.
Really?
Wow.
A lot of people like canceled their reservations after that happened. They were like, nah.
No.
It's kind of funny because, I mean, in a way, it's just like, what? Did you expect the riots to just like continue on to BroNYCon? We're going to show up and be like cars on fire. It's
We
like,
got him! We got him cornered! These white boys are going down!
I mean, if anything, going to Brony. Going to BroNYCon, like going to Baltimore as BroNYCon is happening, is actually the safest time for anyone to go to Baltimore because at that point, they've also got the baseball games going on. So you got like 2 crowds full of nothing but tourists.
And then Otacon's like not far in between that or after
right,
it.
Exactly.
Right.
So basically, everyone who lives in Baltimore is just like getting their food carts and their water bottles ready to sell it because that's like the time where they make money. They ain't gonna fuck that up.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is not a like attractive town to be in. It's like you can go visit the Heinz ketchup factory and take a look at their shitty bridges. But the moment Anthrocon comes around the corner, everybody's decking the halls and being like, "This is a furry friendly place. You can come drink here with your fursuits." And Baltimore does the same thing. They fucking deck the halls, and they're just like, "Hey, if you're a brony, you can get water for $1 here." It's like,
$1.
Here's a question from Cherry Pennington. Should I get a PS4 or a Wii U? It really depends on what kind of games you like.
PC.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
we took that decision for you. Sorry, that was bad.
I mean, if you that was pretty bad. Like Saber jokes, but he's kind of right. I mean, everything on PS4, you can get on PC and play it better.
Yeah.
If you have the extra money for it, or if you already have a computer and you just want to add a better graphics card. I don't know. I mean, it really depends on the experience you want. I mean, PS4 is definitely a lot simpler to like kind of get up and running than it would be a PC, because then you have to either spend $1 bajillion or build it yourself and all that stuff. But you're going to get an overall better experience out of almost all the games you'd want to play. I mean, it really comes down to the exclusives you want, because at this point, any system that isn't the Wii U is all going to have the same games, because all the consoles and the PC are using the exact same architecture. So anyone who doesn't do a multi-plat is either an exclusive or an idiot. So if you want to play like Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy VII before everybody else can, like, you want PS4. You know, if you want to play like all the Nintendo stuff and clear, you want a Wii U. If you just want to play ridiculously like good-looking games at 4K, then you obviously need to get a PC, because like most PS4 games are still running at like 1080 or 720 at 30 FPS. It's just like, unless you're porting a PS3 game. So
Yeah.
it depends on what you want, you know.
Here's an interesting question. From Big Heck 95. I know this is early, but do you think Inside Out will win Best Animated Film at the Oscars? Probably.
So.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's really no
It's
competition
Pixar.
right now.
Even if
Well,
something better does come out, it's a Pixar film, and that's all.
Even if what?
Even if something better does come out, it's a Pixar film. That's all the people who like watch they do the awards. That's the only films they watch are Disney and Pixar films. So like,
Yeah, I mean, the only other film that would be competitive for it this year is another Pixar film. That's The Good Dinosaur.
is that
So-
coming out this?
Yeah, it's coming out this year, November. Since they didn't have a film last year, they're having 2 this year.
Right.
So, because The Good Dinosaur was delayed.
What if the Minions won for Best Animated Feature?
What's your fuck tongue?
Definitely not.
Oh man, I was watching Steven Universe today, and there was a commercial for like this flipping Minion doll thing, and I was just like, gross. So I don't watch TV ever, so I don't see conventional advertising. So when I like have to be subjected to it, I just realize and remember how far our culture has fallen. So it's one of those scary realizations.
It's so weird because the Minions look exactly like the Happy Meal things that the McDonald's have now. They look exactly like them.
Kind of true. Ooh,
Wait, what?
The Minions
ever
look
seen-
like the Happy Meal boxes.
I guess they just look like cookie cutter characters that a company's
Yeah.
making millions of.
right. I mean, it's exactly what they're doing. So
Yeah, pretty much. I entertained the thought of them serving Hitler.
Yeah, we'll talk about more about Minions next podcast when Jim is here, since he's the only other person who went to see it.
Alright.
I can't believe you went to see that movie. They're gonna, but now it's Minions 2 for 2018 or something. Gonna be like, Paleo, like 5 cents of that budget is your fucking fault.
I go to see every animated movie every year.
Yeah, and you
Or at
know
least I
what?
started doing
Part
that.
of, you're part of the problem.
I know.
Yeah, I guess Minions like made a fuck ton of money too.
Yeah, it did. It was the biggest
Like
opening for any
110 million.
animated movie in the U.S.
There is no
Yep.
God.
If you needed any more like proof that America is just a decaying husk, there you go.
God is dead. We sent him to the grave ourselves. Well, this was a fun podcast.
Yes.
What a depressing ending.
The-
Minions won.
yeah,
Yeah.
no Jim here to.
Iwata
us
is
up.
gone, and minions walk the face of the earth. What have we done?
That's chaos.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. So I guess we'll see you guys on the next podcast when Jim will actually be here. And
You know, it makes me sound like none of us are as good as Jim, and it hurts my feelings.
I know because none of us are.
No, we're not. Jim's good at keeping things moving
Yeah.
because he actually knows content. I'm like, I don't know anything.
Hey, actually got a question on here.
Oh.
Oh shit!
It was only directed to me, but it's directed to all of us. It says, and it's weird. To all, what are your thoughts on the new MLP EQG trailer? I actually haven't seen that.
Oh, the friendship games thing.
I haven't seen it either.
I did a little video on it. Looks interesting. I mean, they're using the Twilight that was from the end of the of Rainbow Rocks. That's going to be part of it, and like some strange, weird things are going on because she's interacting with the other friends. So these tears just start coming up. It's really weird.
I haven't seen this, so. Will I subject myself to the third one? Now that I'm not going to make a video about it, I don't even know. Like, if I do, I'll probably like it raises some interesting questions on my like own perceptions of self-worth if I do that to myself. But we'll see.
Don't do it. Everybody would be like, I thought you quit horses! And then you'd be like, technically it isn't horses, and everybody would
Oh, I wouldn't make a video on it. I mean, just watching it.
Oh, just watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
In that case, I don't give a shit what you
I was gonna say. It's good to know you're my good friend. Just fucking, I don't fucking care what you do. Go jump off a fucking bridge.
do. Let's not compare jumping off a bridge to watching Equestria, because I know it's a painful movie to watch, but
I don't, that first one, I still haven't.
Rainbow Rocks wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
I still haven't watched
Apparently,
it.
like the horse episode from like 2 weeks ago or something was really good.
Yeah, I
don't
did
know.
like that a lot.
I haven't watched any of them, but like I just saw fan art. I'm like, damn, the eyebrow game on that horse is
Yeah.
strong. I need to watch that one. Just everyone said it was good. Someday. I had to watch Gravity Falls first. Why are we still doing this podcast?
Yeah,
after we
let's watch Gravity Falls.
Real talk.
All right.
Bye,
So-
podcast.
We'll see you guys next week when we'll have
Wait,
Jim.
before we do that,
Or not next week, but in a couple weeks. What?
for people who might not have been able to watch it because they were here watching this, hey, let me give you a link to a 720p upload that you can put in the chat because I don't have the chat open.
Oh, okay.
So, as a reward for watching this whole thing, that is not the link. Oh wait, no, it was the whole link. It just was 2 lines long. I don't know what the fuck. There you go. Put that in the chat as a reward
Okay.
for the hardcore fans.
Yeah,
If you're-
there's the thing for Gravity Falls. If you missed it today. So, yeah, we're off to go watch it. So, we'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
See ya.
Bye.
Peace.
Hey, see you guys. Bye.
Oh, I stopped streaming before you said that.